This was the first time I assembled a mini, and I didn't start small. Without any experience or knowledge, I put together this huge dragon, Strakh, from Squidmar Miniatures. The instructions were rather easy to understand following the numbers, but I was still terrified to get going. It was the first time I was using plastic frame cutters, and I didn't want to mess up the parts as I was clipping them off the sprues. Someone told me to use the cutters the opposite direction to leave excess plastic all around. It's a brilliant method. And before trimming them off, I checked the parts to understand how they fit together. Slowly but surely, I clipped the bits, flipping the cutters so the cut was right on the edge of the part. Before using my sanding sticks to clean everything up, I put my face mask on and then started smoothing the edges. The model is really well done, so there was not much to clean. It was also the first time I worked with plastic glue. Because it works by melting the plastic to cement the joints, I turned on the ventilation system. I was not sure how well this glue would work, and I was expecting to make a huge mess, the same way I do when I use crazy glue. But this worked like a charm and fast. With one pillar done and a bit of extra confidence, I tackled the second pillar with the same technique. The base has 3 pillars, so a good repetition practice before tackling the dragon. By the time I got to the base itself, I felt a lot more sure of what I was doing and gained quite a bit of speed. Once again, I made sure everything was super smooth. This is where I was surprised at how clean the joints are between the different parts on this mini. And the fact that the glue melts the parts together, it nearly looks like a single piece. I did not expect that. I felt very pleased with this first achievement. I finished the base by assembling the large pillar. This is the one the dragon will stand on. With the texture and details, this is going to be a fun base to paint. The base was one thing, but now it was time to assemble the dragon. I was super nervous to mess it all up. The body and the tail come together in 2 parts. I was expecting to see a big seam all along the spine and I would have to fill it with putty, but not at all. The seam is really neat. I was in hyper-focus mode when I glued the neck. It's a straight cut and I wanted to do a clean job. And I can't believe it worked. The head was made of 2 pieces that are glued around the neck and tongue. Very interesting. And once again, the joints were nearly seamless. I glued on both legs so I could test it on the base. I wanted to make sure I would be able to remove it and glue it on later so I could paint the dragon and the base separately. With that confirmed, I finished the whole process by gluing on the gigantic wings. The first wing was a single piece, and the second one was in 3 pieces, but there was nothing I could not handle at that point. The pose is really awesome, and these wings are calling for an awesome airbrush paint job. Overall, the process went really smoothly. I was happy to have the right tools and a good model. Now, I only need to learn how to use an airbrush, which is the next challenge I will be tackling. My goal is to become good enough to do a great paint job on Strakh. Wish me luck and feel free to follow along.